listening to Pirate Cat. Hi. Hi, Robyn. I'm going to go ahead and put you on the air.
Great.
Okay.
I'm babysitting, I have to say. So you're going to hear my 2-year-old granddaughter in the background.
All right. Everyone, this is Robyn from the Sex Worker Outreach Project. Oh, it's very nice of you to call in. That's great. I just got off the phone with Judy. I was just about to give you a call, so this is really nice that you...
Well, Judy emailed me and asked me to call, and I thought that was so wonderful, so I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. Thank you for asking me.
You bet. So, so I've been reading about reading some of the events that are taking place that that you have listed up on the Sex Worker Outreach Project website, especially the ones happening on the 17th of December. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the other events? Because you have like events that have happened that have been taking place all of December too here in the Bay Area.
We started doing outreach in the beginning of the month, and outreaching with the Erotic Service Providers Union, who is also hosting a lot of events around the area. And so, you know, we've written letters to politicians. We've invited politicians to our events, you know, to speak out against violence and to speak up for decriminalization of prostitution, which, you know, I believe is a true... The true focus of ending violence against sex workers is to end discrimination and stigma.
Right.
And by doing, we have to. The only way to do that, I truly believe, the only way, and the first step to doing it, is to decriminalize prostitution.
Exactly.
So
then it's not a crime for them to report an incidence of violence.
Then we'll feel safer. We won't feel like criminals. Right now, as long as you're a criminal, everybody's your enemy. Everybody. The law, you know, it's you against the world, and we're trying to change this, you know, because we are not criminals. We are committing civil disobedience. We're doing something that we believe is right, that it's our right to do. It's our choice. It's our amendment. It's our constitutional right to the pursuit of happiness, and to do with our bodies what we choose, you know, and so I believe that every time any of us commits an act of prostitution, we're committing an act of civil disobedience. You know?
Like Pirate Cat Radio, it's an act of civil disobedience. And you have gone all over the world, too, to promote the Sex Worker Outreach Project and decriminalization. Too, and you've even spoken in New Zealand, and let's name some of the other things that you have done for the Sex Worker Outreach Project.
You know, the one thing that is amazing is being able to travel around the world and to connect with sex workers everywhere. You know, I mean, it's always like, you know, it's such a big world, and then you meet somebody in the elevator in Budapest, you know, or something crazy like that. But I have been able to, through the internet, I believe, be in contact with sex workers and sex worker rights organizations around the globe, and, you know, through the help of wonderful members of Sex Workers Outreach Project and wonderful people who've believed that we should move on and travel and, you know, go to other countries and bring back evidence. You know, we've been funded and helped, you know, to move around. I had the opportunity to spend a month in New Zealand, and that was amazing. That was amazing. I was in a country where they had truly created a decriminalized system, and sex workers were fighting for their rights. And I can only be very honest to tell you that stigma, discrimination, violence against sex workers were all still happening in New Zealand. You know, you don't decriminalize and it waves a magic wand,
right,
and all the troubles go away.
You have to educate and bring about awareness.
Exactly, but these people were so brilliant, and women in this country were the most brilliant because the country is mostly women. You know, it's over 50% women, but they believed truly the way to end the violence and the stigma and the discrimination was to decriminalize. They truly believed that, and that's what it's going to take in our country. Women.
Hello, women.
For our own rights to choose to do with our bodies whatever the hell we want to do. You know? So, God, you got me on my soapbox.
I love it. I love it when you get going. Seeing you and Carol Lee out on the steps of City Hall or street corner or whatever, like raising awareness and making people pay attention. It's a beautiful sight.
Well, it's a lot of fun too, you know. I like to see people's reactions when you want to talk about sex. It's a whole lot different than talking about marijuana. I can tell you that. Marijuana, they're all like, yeah, you got some. Sex, they're like, whoa. You know, really? Man, I never paid for it, you know, or some bullshit. But
so how long have you been doing the Sex Worker Outreach Project?
You know, we started after I got arrested by the federal government. You know, that was back in 2002. And then I spent about a year working really hard for medical marijuana and our rights here in San Francisco and in California. And then I found out that there was so much stigma against being a sex worker. You know, there was just no support. If you got busted for marijuana, you had tons of friends. But if you get busted for sex work, you kind of lose friends. And I thought that was the weirdest feeling I'd ever experienced, you know, being discriminated against because I was a sex worker. And, you know, I'd never really been discriminated against because I never told anybody. You know, I lied about it and I kept it a secret. And I think that's what most of us do. We lie and keep it a secret and we feel ashamed. And, you know, which just furthers the stigma and the discrimination.
And it's like for years, like for me, it wasn't until like I came out in San Francisco and started like telling people that I did sex work, and they're like, well, what type of sex work have you done? I said, phone sex and escorting, but it was legal escorting. And they're like, well, what the hell is that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've done a lot of legal
like I had to like put that disclaimer on there, you know. I was like, but I didn't touch anybody.
You know, but that's the nod, wink, wink. We all experience in sex work. You know, I worked in legal massage parlors. I worked in illegal lockups. You know, I've worked in strip joints, you know, where we were doing every form of anything that we wanted to do. So, who was benefiting? The strip club owners, the massage parlor owners. And were they women? Hell no. No. You know, this whole business is structured for the men to, you know,
to benefit
with the most money, to profit and gain the most. And, you know, when people like me who go into management or try to network with other women and become madams and work in that system, we go to jail. You know, but the men, they pay their taxes. I like the way that works in this country, you know. It's pretty funny to me how the women go to jail.
So what
the men pay their taxes.
So what are some of the tell our listeners about the efforts of decriminalization and some of the goals that if decriminalization occurs, what are some of the things you can accomplish with that?
You know, I think the most progressive thing going on right now, and we're all not really listening or watching, is in Hawaii, where they have 12, hey, ho, don't stick that in your mouth. Sorry. Okay, in Hawaii right now, they have 12 representatives or people who have signed on to their decriminalization legislation. That's a huge feat. Okay?
That's
that is
awesome.
a huge feat. You know, here in California, we have one board of supervisor in San Francisco standing up for our rights, you know, actually going out and campaigning to decriminalize prostitution.
And that's Jake McGoldrick, right?
That's Supervisor Jake McGoldrick, he's my hero, I can tell you. And I just think that we should look at this, at what's going on in Hawaii. How did they get this far in at a state level, you know? And for one thing, though, we can also look at it as Hawaii's the Bay Area, the size of the Bay Area. You know, so God, just give me that many people to deal with. You know, that would be great. So I think that's a big opportunity. I think an island mentality is always different. You know, it's different around sex. I think we look to New Zealand, that's another island. Australia, where we've got decriminalization going on, you know, that's another island. So I think there's something about this island mentality.
What do you think we can accomplish? Like, once there's decriminalization, what else? Like, what can you do under that umbrella?
Well, I think that we can truly then be able to demand our rights in the workplace. You know, we can organize and network and work in brothels if we want, or, you know, we'll be able to figure out a system, a legal system to work in where we can pay taxes and, you know, buy our homes and buy our cars and write down our occupations, or somewhere where we all really struggle with these issues, you know. And then there's the whole other side of it, too, women who work on the streets and who work in different venues, not just women that work in legal brothels or illegal places or that work over the internet, you know. But there's also the people who experience the most violence, the most stigma and discrimination. They're under arrest all the time, so they're going to jail. But they're really paying the penalties for being prostitutes because they can't afford to go indoors, work indoors, or they've found a quicker, better way to make money out on the streets. You know, this is a system right now, in a criminalized system. This is what's going to happen, and we feel like we can change this in a decriminalized system. That people will go and work indoors more when they can. You know, that this will change. It will change the power structure too, for the sex worker to be able to have more rights and be able to demand more rights, be able to go to the police, ask for equal protection. You know, we'll be able to focus on labor laws and health and safety in the workplace, which is right now we can't even get into a lot of the workplaces. And I think Mayor Gavin Newsom is showing a fine example of what it took. You know, he's loading up a bunch of cops and health department people in their trudging, you know, busting down the doors of the massage parlors and fining everybody for wearing skimpy out. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, when all we have to do is outreach into places like this, and you know, if we can go inside and if it's legal, then we can all be safer. You know, there won't be all this secret world of underground and back doors.
Pushing it further and further underground where it's less and less safe.
Where we're going now, all over the world. I mean, the Bush administration has had so much bar-raising influence, which has increased trafficking and violence, which is, I think, the farther we criminalize it, the further we
move into a more violent existence.
In the system, the more violence is going to be committed against us, you know. I mean, I think we read it every day and every year around this time, because today, December 17th, I get in on the internet and I start looking and reading about things that have happened, you know, violence against sex workers. This year is very pertinent because I think Picton, you know, Picton,
up in Canada.
And Canada is sentenced, you know, how ironic here again,
it just happened last week.
You know, I thought that was amazing to me, too, you know. So, I mean, it's just, and so I begin to read the stories and the horrors, and, you know, nothing changes. Nothing has changed. You know, the violence gets it's more, you know, and what I read, too, are more and more people just feel like they're killing prostitutes because nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah, they can't go to the police.
Gary Leon Ridgway's statement. You know, that was a statement that is made by many of these killers and predators who, you know, go after sex workers. It's because they hate them.
Yeah.
You know? And what in the world? What has caused all this hatred to women who are giving so much of themselves?
Right.
You know, insane. And then it's not just women. And I think that we tend to focus, I tend to focus on women a lot. But, you know, we're not the only. And I think that male sex workers are the most under...
acknowledged. And
yeah, exactly. We never speak about them. You know, we don't talk about the you know, the violence against the male sex workers. It's so underreported. Maybe that's how I want to say it. And so, you know, it's a very tragic time for me to just go back. And I want to say I feel so wonderful about how everybody around the world is participating. Annie Sprinkle is sending out notes to everywhere and sending out all her goodness. And, you know, I just... wow, you know, I am humbled, and I am just, this is amazing. Yeah,
there's a lot of events listed there on the SWAP
and that's
website.
Not even all of them, you know. I know there's many people that are doing things that
it's not listed up there.
So you know, I don't even know about that website.
So you're listening to the Lair of Lady Monster on Pirate Cat Radio, and I'm on the phone right now with Robyn of the Sex Worker Outreach Project. That's based here in the Bay Area. If you want to learn more about them, their website is swopusa.org. And you do a lot of work with Carol Lee, Scarlet Harlot. And,
she's my hero.
And you can learn more about Scarlett's website is bayswan.org, BAYSWAN.org, and she's got, and it's also Pennant, right? PENET, and that's the Prostitution's Education Network. And so she has all kinds of information listed up there, too, about educating yourself, about working for decriminalization, and educating yourself about sex workers and their rights and all the actions and activities that are going on to promote that and end the violence. So thank you so much. I'm going to try and get in some music and tracks, try to maybe round up the program here with a bunch of tracks here, some that Judy provided from the Sex Worker Internet Radio Lounge, and some stuff that I've got here to play. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Robyn? I
just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for letting me come on and preach to you for a little.
Oh, I love it. I love hearing you preach. We need that. We need people like you to just get up on the mic and just let it all out and give us a lot of information really quickly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
you bet.
So I hope to see you at Monday in Civic Center.
I will. I will definitely be there on Monday.
And you know, Supervisor Jake McGoldrick is giving a press conference at 11:30 on the steps of City Hall in San Francisco. So if everybody wants to come out and support sex worker rights, he's going to talk about ending violence and try to bring as much attention to this issue as he possibly can. And then we're having a reception in his office at 5 p.m., and we'll all be out in the lawn by 6. Okay.
All right. And I'm going to play a special track for you. These are friends of mine from Ohio called Pat Dahl and his Media Whores. And the song is called Robyn, and it's spelled just like your name.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
All right. Well, you take care.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Oh, wanna know about it, Robyn. What are we gonna do? Ba 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 ba. Oh, Robyn, I haven't got a clue. Ba 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 ba. Although we were lovers in the past, I've gotta learn to get over you fast now, Robyn. I've gotta know by the end of the day, you've gotta show me all the right notes to play. You know our love is just a G chord away, a G chord away, a G chord away. Oh, Robyn, what are we gonna do? Ba 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 ba. Oh, Robyn, I'm feeling so blue. Ba 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 ba. You know that you still thrill me, even though my girlfriend's gonna kill me now, Robyn.